Oh man, am I excited for today's video. Now I love useful facts as much as the next guy, but something that always seems to interest me more is useless facts. For some reason, they are always way more interesting, probably because they're not usually intentional. Most games have them, and Dragon's Dogma 2 is no exception, and today I have quite a few. Some of them will make you laugh, and some might even make you cry. So let's jump in. Your pawns can offer a lot on a journey, but one quirk about them is that after using the come command, and only that command, you can spam the hail button and this will make them shake their heads. Are you a stinky little pawn? Yeah, you're so stinky, but I love you anyways. When running, you can pick up an item and you'll actually pick it up just a little bit differently. Almost like your character carries the momentum a little. Throughout gaming, and mainly RPGs, children are usually off the table for violence and the usual interactions, for obvious reasons. Like how in Skyrim, they are invincible. Well, in Dragon's Dogma, this only applies to a select few, while a lot of others can actually be picked up. The only children that can be picked up as far as I know are Tumi, Eterna, Daphne, Lillian, Niles, Tatiana, Raylia, Flora, and Raj. But let's see what happens when they're thrown off a cliff. And they died. No surprise.
Don't kill kids.
Trungus. When fighting goblins, it may be hard to notice, but the goblins actually have 4 main toes and 1 toe further up like an opposable thumb. When rattlers are stunned, they can be picked up, but when thrown a far enough distance will actually roll back into a ball. They can go quite far if they're thrown downhill. If you've ever been around the checkpoint in Rest Town, then you've no doubt seen the fancy ox carts to help you get through the border before you become a citizen or require the permit from the story. But if you've ever taken a look at the flags, then you might notice that they don't move the way you think they would. They sway back and forth slowly and seem stiff despite how slow the cart is traveling. And they keep swaying even if the cart stops. Out of all the facts, this has to be the most useful, useless fact. When dozing off on a bench to speed up the day, you can just keep tapping the button to remain seated and doze off as many times as you want. Near the Frontier Shrine is the only out-of-bounds area that I've managed to find in the game thus far, next to where the Sphinx appears for the second set of riddles. Sadly, there isn't anything of note here, but that's usually the case while being out of bounds, and this wouldn't be on the list of useless facts if it was useful. Pawns seemingly do not care if you hurl boulders at their heads. What's funnier is that the thrown object only does a single point of damage to them. So technically you could kill them if you want to throw this at them 1600 times. Characters who have multiple outfits will have those displayed as well in their character page. Can't see why this was included, but just a funny addition to the history tab, I guess. If one of your pawns falls into water and is getting eaten by the brine, Running away fast enough will have them teleport to you instead of being consumed. On the surface, this seems like a useful tip, but the window isn't that big and you're unlikely to ever need to do this, or be able to do this in a fight. The delectable meat of Dragon's Dogma 2 satiates all weary travelers. But have you ever wondered what cut of meat it is? Well, the answer is rib meat, and by the looks of it, the meat seems to be from lamb or sheep, except for the dried meat, which is too basic for a guy like me to discern. Also, as a side note, the meat scenes are real meat? Did that surprise anyone else too? When running around at night with a lantern on, characters will cover their eyes to shield themselves from the light. Although they do it once and won't do it again unless you've run far away. And to make this even more niche, they only do it when not in a main area of a city. Those being either Bakbatal or Vernworth. Using an NPC that is dead or alive, your choice, you can throw them into bridge anchors and destroy them. Around the areas of Dragon's Dogma 2, you can sometimes find groups of butterflies. These groups of butterflies will disperse if you attack where they are. When using Torrent Shot on Archer and you try to put away your bow, immediately after, your character only puts away an arrow, and another arrow magically appears in their hand. And now something so trivial that I didn't even notice until making this video. But the oxen of Vernworth are actually a different color than those in Batal. The ox of Vernworth are a brown color, while those in Batal are more black. This one is kind of nasty, but dead bodies that have been sitting for a while will leave stains on the ground after being picked up. Ew, it's nasty. If you take a look around the Straggler's Cave, you'll find some asps. Take them down, and around where they were laying down, you'll find a gathering point buried in the ground. It is most likely just one of the bone piles that wasn't positioned correctly and is clipped in the ground. And that was a bunch of useless facts. Did you find them enjoyable? Did I make you cry? Sob in the comments below and I'll make you feel better. Or you can comment any useless facts that you've found. They're pretty funny to find in game and I'm excited to see what you guys have found. But that's going to do it for now.
Bye-bye.
Oh man, am I excited for today's video? That's such a cringe.